For some reason, I make very few videos on The Legend of Zelda. I enjoy it. I'm also one of those people who quite enjoys the Wind Waker / Phantom Hourglass / Spirit Tracks trilogy, but I've also beaten Breath of the Wild. Did I ever mention that the Toon Link in these games abides by some crazy mockery of physics? Oh yes, I made several videos going on and on about this. According to his usage of the whirlwind, he must have a lung capacity on par with something supernaturally freaky. So this time, I hop over to the one game in this trilogy I've yet to cover, The Wind Waker. I've never actually calculated this game, but since these three Toon Link games have the craziest physics, I guess I'll hit up the Skull Hammer. This massive mallet thing whacks and kills basically anything, and we can measure and figure out just how scientifically powerful this damn thing is. Phantom Hourglass has a hammer as well, but it lacks the ability to measure, as Toon Link doesn't really, hold it. So Skullhammer, here I come. Hello, I'm the Theorizer. I love physics. Call me nerdy, I don't care. In fact, I do care. If you don't call me nerdy, I'll disown you as a human being. Continuing on to the mathematics, this is as usual a breeze, easy and breezy. To find the actual force this thing slams with, we need to know, yes, two things. The mass of the hammer's heavy parts and the deceleration of it moving fast to it stopping. Let's go for the mass first. Mass is found by using, yes, two things, volume and density. Volume is the amount of space something takes up, and density is how tightly packed it is. So by logical understanding, multiplying the two should get its mass in kilograms. The hammer's heaviest part is the big rock and skull shell on the end. The skull is a malformed and hollowed out cone, and the rock is just a very deep hemisphere. Hemispheres have a formula for their volume. It's just the volume of a sphere divided by 2, which simplifies to this. And a hollowed out cone, which is the closest shape I can equate the surrounding skull shell to, looks like this. So let's fill it out. As I do, I pulled out a ruler and started measuring my computer monitor. This is so that I can compare the confirmed heights and measure the hammer accurately. Because years ago in multiple videos I calculated Toon Link's height, which is a very minuscule 2'9". Comparing that, we get the diameters and heights of the circular objects, which allow us to calculate it through, and I don't want to waste time at this part. So this all calculates out to the cone shell being a tiny 0.00387 cubic meters and the rock being approximately 0.0764 cubic meters. That's a combined 21 gallons, for the imperial system's sake. Rock is much more dense than bone, but we can look up both on Google, and filling them both in and adding gives us the majority of the Skullhammer's mass, which is 210 kilograms, or a stunning 463 pounds. See? I told you Toon Link is a superhero. Muscular overload right there. The deceleration is trickier than the mass though, because it can be found with two things that are more complex. Velocity of swing divided by the time it takes to slow down after hitting the ground. The time is something I can just find by measuring frame by frame, but the velocity or speed is something I need to find with a bunch of things. He swings it on an angle, so we need to factor in that, the radius of the swing, and the time it takes to swing from start to finish. Believe it or not, the time for it to swing is shorter than the time it takes to slow down and stop shaking. That's just how fast this truly is. So the angle it swings is around 210 degrees, which we just need to convert into the metric unit of angle, radian. Doing so, we only need the time and radius. So I compared the handle of the hammer to Toon Link, and the handle is only about 1 meter long. The time it takes to swing from start to finish is about 1/10 of a second. Holy cow, that's a speed of 37 meters per second or 133 kilometers an hour. Imperial, that's 83 miles an hour. Madness. Superhero Toon Link, get out my face. Finally, dividing that velocity by the slowdown time, about 0.27 seconds to stop its impact, we end up multiplying it all in and getting a whopping slamming force of 28,860 newtons. That's 150% the force of someone getting bit by a great white shark. Our slamming force is around a saltwater crocodile bite, strongest bite ever measured right there. Toon Link is a titan. Pressure-wise, if we divide the force by the area of slamming, that's a whopping 83.5 kilopascals. For reference, we can instead look at its energy of simply the movement, which is around 140,000 joules. Eat the calories in 130 McDonald's Big Macs, and you'll be able to achieve that kind of energy. So each time he swings it, he's just overdosed on burgers, that kind of energy. Either way, this kid should be dead in every way. The Skull Hammer is made of death and obesity. Toon Link isn't the god we asked for. I'm going to look at more of his arsenal's weaponry so I can eventually make a video figuring out what combination of tools will make this guy a true god of destruction. Until next time, when I plan to look at more areas of his horrific strength, I'm the Theorizer.